So this is a 6x6 post. I'm going to be doing 4 6x6 posts and then 2 6x4 posts. I mean 4 6x4 posts. I was going to cut this guy with this, but of course it doesn't go deep enough, and I'd end up having to do a cut on each side, and then I'd still have to come back through with something else, with a handsaw or chainsaw. So I was like, okay, well, let's just see what how a chainsaw works. And it seems to work okay. I mean, you just got to be careful of the angle, but electric chainsaw, a lot easier. Oh yeah, that's like butter. So that's so much easier. Well, I don't have anything, so I'll just hold it. Oh my gosh, that was so much easier. Okay, I went ahead and cut the initial cut with the circular saw. That way I could get a good starting point, because I didn't have a good starting point last time. Almost forgot the most important part. All right, so I'm kind of thinking out loud here. I'm in a dilemma. I'm by myself. I'm trying to figure out how to temporarily put up these 12x8 boards. They're 12-foot 12x8 boards, no cuts necessary. I've got 8 holes and 8 posts. Well, if I put I'm not sure a 12 footer is going to hold up. I think what I'm going to need to do, I mean by itself, what I'm going to need to do here is lay down the posts and use a square and measure up. These are 2 foot holes, measure up 3 feet, you know, approximately 3 feet, 4 feet. Measure up 4 feet, square it off, and screw all these in with 2 screws each, just temporarily. This is only a temporary fixture until I can cut into the posts. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that. I have to lay it down. There's no other way to do this.
You're going to find out in just a minute that this did not work at all. Just one guy alone trying to figure things out. But yeah, not going to happen.
All right, so I put a little more thought into it, and it's just not going to work this way. The reason it's not going to work this way is because even no matter how square I get this and how I measure it, I can't necessarily measure how much higher that hole is than this hole. And so when I lift it back up, when I raise it up, no matter how perfect it is on the ground, it's going to be unlevel like that. So I'd still have to take it apart and do it again. So that's not going to work. Great idea, but not effective. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, just gonna clear this cement block down here, and hopefully this will work. I mean, this really is a 2-man job. I just can't see how this is going to work with one guy. But I'm sure as hell going to give it a try, aren't I? What I've done here so far is I've got these posts exactly 6 feet apart as they should be, which is what, because it's a 12-foot length, centered. And I've got the string guiding how flush they are, albeit not perfect. The next thing I'm going to do is measure upward from the base. But I haven't quite figured out how to get it level before I get the board on. So I'm still thinking about that. If I had several people, the way I would do this is I would build the frame first. Then I would have all four of us would lift the frame up. And then a fifth person would level it. Once it's leveled all directions, then I would temporarily screw it in. But I'm by myself. So I'm trying to figure out some way to do this. If I had at least one other person, I could do one side at a time, and I think that would be fine, using the same method. So we'll see. All right, I got a few minutes left before my brother shows up, so I'm gonna measure downward, because I know these are 4.25 foot posts. That's 4.5. So 4.5 an inch, I mean. So that's 4.25 inch, 4.5 inch, 4.25 inch. So if I measure downward, I might have better luck. I don't know. I'm just gonna put a mark, and I think I'm gonna do this myself later. I just laid a board on top for now. Check this out. Oh my gosh, it's so close. All we're doing is we just got that in there and that in there. I've done nothing to it. It's just like, What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a board here. I'm gonna center it, put this board here, and that will give me a pivot point. So then I can tilt it any direction I want. I'm just gonna try to get it there and then we'll bring it back up. So what I decided to do is take this leveler, touch the bottom of this, because I don't want to cut that one, the top of that one. No need to cut more than I need, necessary. So I'm taking the leveler and getting it to the bottom of that, all the way to the post, finding the level spot, and then I marked right there on that level spot. So I know where the exact top is here. And that way I can measure downward. So now I'm gonna measure the width of that board, which is, okay, so it's sold as 8 inches thick. It's not, they're always shorter after curing and such, so it's 7.5. All right, so you measure 7.5. It's actually just less than 7.5. So you measure 7.5, and it gives you the room you need from this spot all the way down here. So now I know where my board is gonna go. I had to shear off the top of this thing because the top was not flush. That would not have worked out very well. All right. Let's see how level it is now. Probably a little less level. All right, I went ahead and re-leveled it. Tell you, man, doing this by yourself is no fun. Okay, I've marked here and here where the plank is going to be screwed onto. and it's just temporary until I can get it all level. And when I mark my places on these other two, then I'm going to cut into them 2 inches and up. So it's gonna be a notch for this thing. Not really 2 inches. Again, they don't do exactly 2 inches on this. It's 1.5 inches. So I'll cut 1.5 inches in and all the way up, create a notch on both of these after I'm done leveling.
Okay, what I had to do here is prop that thing up with the leveler. It wasn't staying put, so one-man job.
All right, so it was not level. I came up with an idea. We'll see if it works. Yeah, I think that worked. Contemplated all sorts of ways to get this out. I've got to cut a 1.5 inch out here, and so far I'm using that, and then I'm gonna use chisels. Board's gonna go here and here. As you can see, I'm glad I didn't cut this. This is the 12-foot mark. Now I know why they make them longer than 12 foot. So this is 1.5 inches, just enough for that. That's nice and flush. And the next one would go this way. And we're gonna do the center one, which is a lot easier, next, and then that one. Last corner. Getting it lined up is going to be the trick. All right. Getting it square is the next job. As you can see, it's not. So. Like I said, getting it square is the next job. And then, once it's square, then I put I drill the holes. Once the holes are drilled, and I put the 5/8 bolts in there. There's going to be 1 bolt per post. Now that I think about it, I might need a few more bolts. I need 3 per side. I hadn't thought about that. I bought 8. So actually, I need 12. I need 4 more sets because I got to go that direction and that direction in 1 post, and I just didn't think about that. So squaring it up is the next job. It's a little bit off. I can see it just with my eye. I'll send a drone over it and take a look at it, but you measure corner to corner like that, and that'll be tomorrow. I'm done for the day. That handsaw burned through about 4 of these. That's hard to do. My doggy's hurt. Okay, so the purpose of this channel was to show for posterity how this all was done, you know, from beginning to end. Also, the name of the channel is basically, well, the name of the playlist anyway is how to do this alone. You know, that's in the name. I did my best to not to call on anybody today, and I think it did pretty dang good. It's all level, and tomorrow I'll get it squared up and get the feet placed and bury the feet and drill the holes, put the bolts in. Bada bing, bada boom. Next.